Welcome everybody, thank you for making it through the rain and the traffic as people mentioned. Really good first session for you today. I think we've got a great panel who I'll introduce briefly in a moment. As Peter mentioned, a subject very dear to my own heart. Lots of great experience on this topic, some I like to think successes, some absolute failures, and I know there will be some great perspectives in the audience, so it'd be great to hear from you. And just let's get straight into what do we mean by a strategic partnership? What does it mean to you and your business?
Well, for me, strategic partnerships are all about making change happen. When I think about my last role at Virgin Money, we, like many of the banks, had thought about the pace of change that was coming from a digital and technology perspective. We were building a very different standalone digital bank to be able to compete with the likes of Monzo and others. You know, there's a lot of fintechs around. It's a real buzzword at the moment. But our view was most companies either had the fin or they had the tech. So either they had the financial expertise or they had the technology expertise. Very few actually have both. And that's what we were able to bring to the table. And as I say, to work in partnership, building a bank from the bottom, and that's quite an exciting thing to be part of. But I think in doing any of those things, you've got to find the right partner and you've got to be able to work together. And I think that's an imperative in any strategic relationship that you broker.
Yeah, that's great. I think, and I liked your focus on change there, because I think that's really important. So why do we do this? What are the benefits of it? Hazel, you talked a bit about in your organisation, but what benefits, specific benefits have you seen from your strategic partnerships?
Public sector, I suspect, has a bad reputation for being able to adapt to change quickly, and working with our external suppliers is critical, both for that transition period, but also working through in a longer term.
There is a perception that, you know, legal can be a business prevention department. Do you think people in your businesses still see that?
I have probably the opposite experience from that, and that, if anything, I would say within Semcort we've got quite a culture of involving the legal team very early. You'll literally be copied into absolutely everything that's going on. I mean, that has its great benefits because I think it demonstrates people don't see you as a business prevention. You've got an opportunity to shape the transaction that's coming up or to influence views. The counter position, of course, which I'm sure the other panellists will share, is then it's a question of balancing where, you know, with limited resource, what do you actually spend your time on, and because you're perhaps involved in, you know, a number of views, are you actually providing the quality of advice in a particular area that really is important?
How are you seeing technology improve this area in terms of, you've mentioned a bit about strategic partnership, how are you seeing it specifically help?
There's a couple of ways that comes to mind. One is the rollout of Microsoft SharePoint and Teams and more sort of easy access communal document repository for files amongst the legal team. And then, you know, we're increasingly looking to do team sites with other functions to share information, like a central repository for policies, procedures, things like that. And then the second way is we have a contract management system through Salesforce that we're looking to, we're pushing the use of that more, where it puts the responsibility on the functions like purchase and sales. If they want a new contract or an NDA, they have to submit a request through that system, so it puts a lot of responsibility on them. So standardisation, toolkits, and putting some responsibilities back on the business functions.
That partnership with your external advisors is key to this, to delivery, because we talked about the time and budget. So are you all leveraging those value adds and those investments from externals?
That idea or notion that your law firms are almost an extension of your business or your particular teams, again, I think that's really important, because the really good law firms proactively remind you or tell you about things or send you things as a prompt that you may not have seen yourself. So it's not just when I'm asking for it, they proactively will send things to me, which is just super helpful in this world where I just find there's so much information out there and not enough time to process it. So knowing that there are other people catching things is actually really reassuring.